What's up, guys? I hope you are having a great week. Just doing another video here today that is going to be a VR. So I know I don't do a lot of these, but I don't know how long I'll be doing the YouTube video thing, but as long as I am, if my buddy Rob over at Cash Cards asks for a VR, I'm probably going to do it. He is kicking butt over there. He is up over 1,000 subs now. I think it was 1060 last time I checked. So he is very popular. He is doing what people want, and people love him. So he's over 1,000 subs. He's doing a giveaway, and yeah, it'd be cool if I won the giveaway, but that's not why I'm doing it. Just want to support my buddy Rob. He is one of the truly good guys in this hobby. So let's do it. Maybe cheating a little bit. He asked for our favorite batting stance. I don't know if I could say it's my favorite batting stance, but how about my favorite guy with a unique batting stance? And you saw the thumbnail. I'm not going to just, keep you in suspense. It would be Jeff Bagwell. Now this is the Hall of Fame bobblehead, and he's in that wide, low stance. So what better to use here than that? So that is our bobblehead representation of his stance. And of course, my favorite local player ever, if you don't count Ryan, which you do, but Bagwell was only here. Ryan was with a few teams. I've showed this before. This is one of my most precious things in my whole collection. In the Astrodome, Jeff Bagwell had one baseball card, one major league card. It was 91 Upper Deck. It was the first one to come out. And he had started to make some noise and hit some home runs. And of course would go on to be Rookie of the Year. But at that point, we knew at least he was a really good rookie. And I took a car down to the dugout, and there weren't throngs of people down there like you see today. It was just, I don't know if there was anyone else there. But Bagwell quietly saw me. He walked over, pretended to get like a drink of water in the dugout, and then he proceeded to sign my card and give it back to me in the Sharpie and all. But here's the plaque. I've told this story before, but I haven't taken it off of this thing. But there it is, September 25th, 1991. So end of the season, he was wrapping up his Rookie of the Year campaign, and I stuck that sticker on there, and I have it on this plaque, and it's in this super yellowed rookie card holder. I've thought about taking this out and mag-proing it and stuff, but man, just so many memories wrapped up with it being in this thing for, golly, 35 years now. I can't, I haven't brought myself to do it. So I've left it in this, but yeah, he signed that in his rookie year, September 25th, 91. So that's one of those cards I would never get rid of, obviously. Sentimental value, way worth more than monetary value. And then fast forward about 10 years from then, we used to stand outside the new park, which was Enron Field at the time. And back then you could stand there by where the players come out with their cars, and they sometimes would stop. But nowadays security and stuff is much different. But one day we stayed past, and everybody had pretty much left, but we just kept staying there. And about 2 hours after the game, way late, a black Mercedes pulled out, and sure enough, it was my boy, Jeff Bagwell. Here's a photo. Now you got to remember, I had to lug around cameras and stuff to do this kind of thing back in the day. We didn't have cell phones that had cameras. So I was bringing a camera. Bagwell stopped, the window rolled down, and he was gracious enough to sign for pretty much everybody there. Super, super cool of him. I was beside myself. It was so fun to see him come out after all that time, and then to not just keep going. He stopped, he rolled down a window, and he signed. And here is what he signed for me. So all I had was the program, so I would turn it to the player's page, and I got this framed up. I framed it up years ago with this suede mat and double matted with this. I used to be a professional at that. So anyways, number 5, Jeff Bagwell. So this was his page in the program. I cut it out, of course, afterwards, but he signed it right there in the black Sharpie. And that, you can see his crouching stance. that he would have for most of his career. So that's the stance right there, Rob. You know all about it, but that's it. But that is when it happened right there. He was gracious enough to stop and sign for a few of us, and that was really, really fun. But that's when it happened. I pulled that photo out of one of my albums just to show you along with this. Another couple fun things. This was, I actually kept this. This is not something I bought later. This is something I had at the time, back in 1997. The old TV guide, Astros Power, and it says collector's signature cover on the top, but they had Bagwell and Biggio on this thing, September 27th to 3rd, 1997, in the old blue and gold. And I kept this, so I could pull out 1,000 things to show you, but I just thought that one was pretty cool, because you know, it's not something we see all the time. But you know, TV guides are not necessary now, but back then, man, you wanted to know what was coming on, you had to have one of these things. But yeah, Jeff Bagwell and Craig Biggio on the cover. I kept that since 1997. Speaking of his swing, there used to be these things called Premier Replays, and they're lenticulars that showed some kind of play. And this one here I had kept. This is from my childhood collection as well. But this is his swing, and it goes all the way through. And you can see from my thumbs, I mean, you can see it's a big thing. It's not just a card. And you can see the guys in the background of the dugout, but there is Bagwell's powerful swing. Starts out kind of low. It doesn't show his full back stance, but from right there, bam, hitting a home run. Full extension right there. Legs twisted around almost like Reggie. Yeah, but that's pretty cool, because this lenticular shows the full motion, not just a couple different pictures or making it just look 3D. But these things had some pretty good movement. But I kept that since I was a kid. So kind of neat to have that. We're talking about stances. That is his swing right there. So pretty cool stuff. One of the coolest things I have of his is batting gloves. He broke his hand 3 times with pitches hitting his hand, and he got these special gloves made. But these are some of his gloves. Let me show you here. There's a Bagwell. You can see it's kind of worn there. These Franklin gloves, Bagwell batting gloves, and then he has this pad on this one on his lead hand. There's the other one. It's pretty nice, readable Bagwell. But I could have bought different ones of these at the time, and I bought the one that was worn because I figured, hey, if he's worn it, it's better than just being new. But anyways, this isn't even the pad. This is just the pad that the pad stuck to. So there would be another big pad that was just gigantic like this. It would Velcro onto this, and he could change those out. But that protected his hand from ever having that happen again. But yeah, so there's some Bagwell gloves, which is pretty cool. But as far as card representations, got way too many to show, so we'll just show a few of these things, try to set them up here. But here's a 92 Stadium Club. It's a member's choice with that hollow foil, but this is the East Coast National stamped version. So this is a rare version from the National. And you can see when he was younger like this as a rookie, he stood pretty straight up. So he did all that Rookie of the Year damage standing like this. He was not super crouched at that point. So, you know, things evolved over time. Here's another one you might not have seen. This is from several years ago in Bowman Chrome. This is a rookie card flashback. Not a rookie card, it's just a few years old, maybe 10 years old now or something, or less. But really cool refractor, but it shows a picture of him as a rookie. Not in the blue uniform, but the white uniform, or off-white. So really cool refractor, but it shows him, you can see once again, he stood pretty straight up. You know, not perfectly straight up, but he wasn't crouching tiger, hidden dragon. This here is a cool card. These ringleaders, and this is here's the Bagwell. So you can't see the bottom of his legs or anything, but you can see kind of he was getting into his wide stance at this point. So there's the ringleaders. He was down pretty low, kind of how he would stay the rest of his career right there on that ringleaders card. Here's another one. These are Cyclone Squad. This thing is crazy from the UC3. This is like, these pinwheels are just interesting. You can see they actually move whenever you move the card. The pinwheels kind of spin around like a cyclone. So it's really interesting cards, but you can tell, even though it's not showing the bottom of his legs, he's crouching down there pretty low, which, you know, he kind of became famous for, but it was effective, you know. And if he hadn't been, you know, hurt and had 3 broken hands like this, he would have 500 home runs, even playing a lot of his career in the Dome. So absolute Hall of Famer. This Pacific, one of these awesome gold holofoil Pacifics. This thing is just amazing, from '99, but this thing is a Pacific Prism Gold. Check that foil out. Oh man, some of the coolest cards ever made, and they did a whole rainbow. This is where rainbow started. I'm telling you, he was the premier innovator. Everything you see today almost traces back to Prism. Mike was something else. But look at that. Kramer himself. But that, you can start to see he's down low at that point. He's crouching pretty low. But that's a cool card with that gold hollow foil. Another super innovation by Pacific in 2000. These batting cages cards, and they're actually physical nets, die cut, and then they inserted nets in there. They did all this by hand. Pacific was just unbelievable, the innovations they did. But you got him from the back there, you can see crouching down in his famous batting stance. But yeah, these cards are just fantastic. You don't see them a lot, but they just did so many innovations with Pacific. The batting cage cards are really cool. So that's him in that stance. Very similar stance, but in the later uniform, when they moved to Enron Field, they had the Union Station, which was the train station there that the whole stadium was built around. And it, you know, so they went brick red for a while. And this is another very cool card. Pacific Revolution 2000, this die cut insert. Look at that thing. It's like a badge, like all kinds of points and stuff going on, foils. They just did so much innovation there. Just amazing cards, man. Just amazing cards. So that was the bearded days when he and Caminiti were seeing who would go long enough with the beard, and of course he won. Caminiti would shave his beard on his second stint, but you can see very similar stance to there, just with the new uniform. And he would lift this leg a little bit and then power through. But very powerful stance, very cool stance, but definitely unorthodox. And then I'll show just one of my favorite Bagwell cards of all time. Very difficult to get these in a 9. It's basically like getting a 10 in any other card. A 9 is, you could send in 100 of these and never even sniff a 9. So they have some value still, but the 92 Fleer Rookie Sensations, one of my favorite cards ever. Jeff Bagwell just swinging away in his rookie year, which is just super cool. Absolutely love that card. I have so much nostalgia for that card. But the reason I brought that one out versus, you know, it could have been 100 different things, is because there was a fella right around that time that made Bagwell look like he was standing straight up, by the name of Phil Plantier. Highly touted prospect, power prospect for the Red Sox. Sorry, Shane, it didn't pan out too good, but boy, was I excited about him back in the day. I just thought he was awesome. I wanted to see him succeed. Just didn't last. But you think Bagwell had a crouching stance? Nah, Phil Plantier. Phil Plantier would get down there. He was lower than Ricky. I mean, he was like, there is no strike zone there at all. He's like, it's just ridiculous. He would bat like this. Of course, the ball would come in, he would straighten up a little bit and swing. He had a lot of power too, a lot of pop. But that was his rookie sensation from 1992. Man, oh man. 92, 94, 95, all that era, the Fleer had the best inserts around. But yeah, check that out. So I can't say that's my favorite stance ever, but if you want to say that Bagwell was crouching, now Mr. Plantier gets the golden prize for the crouchiest of all crouches when it comes to batting stances. So I figured I'd finish up with those two rookie sensations. So there you go, Rob. Not necessarily my favorite stance ever, but one of them, and certainly my favorite guy that had a funny stance to some, even though it was just kind of a low, powerful stance. But he even said he wouldn't want to teach it to kids. So, but you know, you can tell when he was a rookie, though. I mean, it wasn't like that. He was a little bit down there, but nothing too crazy. And then he just got down lower later on. But hey, you know, he hit 449 home runs with a bunch of injuries, and he hit in the dome. I mean, he might have had 600 if it was different circumstances, but them's the breaks. Still got to the Hall of Fame, so there you go. So Rob, there you go, my friend. Love you, dude, and hope you have a very successful journey in YouTube like you have been, and I hope this VR is fun for you, for everybody that sends you a video. Hope you enjoyed this one, buddy. And everybody out there, till next time, thanks, guys.